St. Thomas asks a surprisingly modern question, kind of boldly and directly inquiring, did Christ commit suicide? If you know that you're going to be crucified and you surrender to it, and in a certain sense will the passion, do you thereby also will your own death, and are you intentionally taking your own life? And he makes us a series of important qualifications here to show that it's absolutely not the case that Christ committed suicide. The Catholic tradition rightly underscores that suicide is a very serious, tragic, morally erroneous act, and it has tremendous consequences of suffering on those who are left behind. So it's very important to resist any temptation against suicide, and Christ is a manifestation of that. In fact, Christ desires life. He desires our life and our salvation, and so the fundamental inclination of Christ is to give life, not to take life or take his own life. But Christ has a special knowledge, and he knows that there is a culpable, problematic, erroneous antipathy to him. There's resistance to Christ in the world, the principle of the Antichrist, you could call it. And it's manifest as soon as he's present in the world. You see it in the beginning of the Gospel of Matthew, where Herod hears tell of a potential Messiah, and it conducts a massacre of all children under the age of 2 in Bethlehem, because you might say the powers of this world anticipate the threat that Christ represents to them. And this is a theme throughout the Gospels. So his teaching and his authority are a threat to those who bear a lesser authority than him, and who are confused and tempted to absolutize their own authority. And he's a threat to the Roman powers of the world. He's a threat to human sin and human sinners who are attached to their own misconduct. And so he elicits, you might say, moral malice, kind of antipathy. And eventually it's this spiritual antipathy that puts him to death. Now Christ knows about this without causing this disposition in us, and he accepts to die knowing he will be put to death by those who do so culpably. If you look at the Gospels, he's offering them the opportunity to renounce this disposition. He asks Judas, "Where are you going?" He gives Judas the invitation to repent from turning him into the religious authorities. He talks with the religious authorities. When he's slapped by the guard of the Sanhedrin, he asks, "Why did you do that if I speak the truth?" He talks to Pilate, even though he's just being tortured by him, and talks to him about the truth. He offers the truth and forgiveness to those who are actively putting him to death, knowing by a special prophetic understanding that they're in the action of rejecting him and that his death is going to transpire. But he, as it were, you might say it in a certain metaphorical way, he goes down fighting, but you could say he goes down telling the truth, or he tells the truth all through and to the end, and still tells the truth to the fallen human race to invite them to conversion. So you might say it this way: the very remedy he's bringing into the world through the invasion of grace and the presence of divine truth elicits a kind of responsive antipathy and resistance from human beings, and behind them the evil one, the devil. And he knows this is going to happen. He knows some of the outcomes that are going to happen, but he's going to communicate divine truth all the way to the end. And this is part of the way he redeems the world, is by bearing witness to the truth even in and through the crucifixion. And so in that sense, he can voluntarily choose his death. He can choose to go to the cross knowingly, while not being responsible for the evil acts that put him to death, and while bearing witness serenely and beautifully and majestically to the primacy of truth and charity, even in and through the confrontation with the forces that are putting him to death, so as to manifest the divine goodness and mercy and truth, even in and through the very act in which that they are rejecting him and seeking to obscure or mute or wipe out his presence from among us. And of course, this becomes even more manifest, paradoxically, in the resurrection, where he can no longer be silenced, where he can no longer be obscured, and where there's a new presence of Christ in the church and in the preaching of the apostles down through the ages that can never be extinguished. So Christ does not commit suicide. He foresees the culpable evil acts of human beings who put him to death, and he even makes use of that foreknowingly to manifest even more profoundly his truth and his mercy.